Charlie is off, and we'll go to Nora in Houston in just a moment. You know, she had to move locations because of the intensity of the storm, and we could no longer see her on camera, so that's a problem. She's going to a new location. And officials now say the worst of the flooding in Houston is still 2 or 3 days away. Oh no, the country's fourth largest city is already facing what could be one of the worst flooding disasters in American history.
And at least 2 deaths are blamed on Hurricane Harvey and its aftermath. Hundreds of streets and highways can only be navigated by boat. Thousands of people stranded in their homes have been rescued. Authorities have had trouble, though, identifying the hardest hit areas.
The National Weather Service says some parts of the Houston area could get 50 inches of rain. That's more than 4 feet before the storm is finished. Nora O'Donnell is now across from the convention center in downtown Houston. Nora, good morning once again.
Hey, good morning to you, Maurice. You know, we were actually here last night. There were about 700 people inside that shelter. We just checked in with the Red Cross. They now say there are 2,500 people inside of that shelter there. What's noteworthy about that, we got the first look at some of the cots that they were setting up. They set up 1,200 cots. They maxed out. That's all they have in terms of the beds. So that means about half of the people did not have beds last night, largely just camping out on the ground. They weren't, quite frankly, prepared. They weren't set up yesterday morning. The Red Cross did the best job they could all day long to set up the 1,200 cots that they did and provide for them. So they are maxing out in capacity here. We should also mention that it's just now, but the sun is just rising here. So we're going to be getting our first look at some of the devastation this morning. There was a lot of rain last night. And we know that this catastrophic situation is only going to get worse. Here's the update from the National Weather Service. They said that this is beyond anything it has ever experienced. The head of FEMA said just a short time ago this morning that the Houston area will probably get another 13 to 20 inches of rain over the next several days. To me, that's just incomprehensible to think about where that water is going to go. And the flooding will max out on Wednesday or Thursday, and then it will finally start to recede very slowly. The FEMA administrator also predicts more than 30,000 people will need temporary shelter. We've seen just here, though, it's more than they expected just at this one location. Now, the Army Corps of Engineers started a controlled release of water overnight from reservoirs that usually protect downtown Houston from flooding. Now, that will make the flooding worse for neighborhoods around those reservoirs, specifically along the Buffalo Bayou, which is where I was just a short time ago, in which we had to leave that area. Now, the Army says that releasing pressure on those reservoirs will prevent an uncontrollable wall of water that would be heading for the heart of the city. So they're trying to save downtown, essentially, but that's going to result in flooding of some other homes.